Hello, everyone. Hi. It's nice to see you all here.
Yes.
Hello.
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 Yes, I think you will wait for the few minutes until more people will join.
And of course, the majority from your side, beside our network, from our side also. And many people, they express they want to come in, but we try to cover from each country one or two maximum.
Dr. Mohammed, have all of the people they're inviting for today, because I'm not sure they have the link. The people from my side must be here, but I cannot observe there. So I'm not sure if they have the contact for go in our session.
They have the contact, because now we have 25 people. You can see in the when you go to the board down near the video, you can click on the participant. You can see, check the names. If there is anybody missing, you tell me. I'll send them also.
Okay, no, I check.
But I think now we can start, and then also while one of you present, the second can check and.
If there is anyone who contact you, Prof. Anna, you send me a WhatsApp and I will admit them. Okay, I will send to. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I will start then, Prof. Anna, and then will be followed by Prof. Anna, and welcome anybody who have a presentation. I think I asked for 2 or 3 people to prepare something about this. So the purpose that we are here, and this is in my name and Dr. Dunya also. The purpose we are here today is that we want to establish, especially after COVID, and thanks God that you are all of you. Thanks God that you all of you are actually safe, alhamdulillah. But the COVID experience have taught us that really the whole world, including ourselves, we are not really self-sufficient. And even though there are people like Prof. Anna, Prof. Khalid, which I know a lot, they've been working most of their life for the concept of self-sufficiency. But we found out that many communities around the world, they are not ready for self-sufficiency. And actually, what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to minimize even the opportunity of having conflicts, because as you can see, shortage in resources like even medical or healthcare materials, besides shortage of food, might create panic and create problem inside the countries and outside and with country with each other. And you know that I don't need to give you examples. The other thing is that now it is an opportunity for us, because people are realizing the pinch, they are realizing the pain, and they know they are coming to a new world. So this is a concept that now we can really, market and use. And what we are proposing here in summary is that first we want to do papers together. Now the whole world is open for global networking between scientists. And I believe this part is not well covered. So we can lead under leadership of Prof. Anna, Prof. Khalid, all those people who have expertise from different countries. Prof. Anna network is a lot, and they are all of them from east to west. We can lead the whole world in doing first papers, then projects, and then also education part. And which is, again, we have good example with Slovenia and Anna Garden and so on. So I will just go quickly about self-sufficiency and pandemic network. The post-pandemic network that we are proposing. Just quickly, inspiration economy, maybe some of you will be interested. We can send you later this presentation, but we are focusing on quality of life through inspiring people. We go to different communities, we do projects, we publish papers, we have 2 journals. And actually one of our journals is about inspiration and resilience economy. So we've been writing about resilience now in the last 5 years. And again, one of the founders of inspiration economy is Prof. Anna, Prof. Khalid, and those people who were with us because they believe in resilience and so on. We want to create actually a new mindset in the communities through problem solving. And now the COVID has brought many problems, whether due to the disease or after the disease. And also we can use the spirit of youth like Iqbal and many people who can help us in exploring, learning through exploration. And this is very good also approach. And we can do, of course, radical change with minimal resources. This is the purpose of who we are as an inspiration economy. Of course, the network, it will have its own identity. I just given you example from the net about how much difference in countries now. There are certain countries, they have so much abundant resources, like Kerala, for example, in India. But in the same country, there are lots of scarce resources, whether water, food, lots of materials, whatever. So we are having this differentiation between countries like Kerala, who have lots of things, and maybe different parts of India, or maybe in Africa, where they are suffering from famine or hunger already. And you know, the FAO and other United Nations networks, they are now calling for emergency meetings to cover this issue. The other issue is that from self-sufficiency is that now we should really, it's a time how we create self-sufficiency through creative projects. Again, we found out that such projects are very rare. This project now I'm showing you, that how these people, they found out they have abundant rice, nobody's using, okay? So now they started to use it for sanitizers. This is an example of how much we can, again, bring solutions to the community in general. So the whole world now under vulnerability of what we call food diseases, food-related diseases, and specifically animal-related food diseases, which we call it zoonotic viruses and so on. Again, because what we are doing to the environment, hurting the environment, the viruses are increasing. Again, this is where our network, hopefully, we can work together into solving many problems through projects and through papers and so on. So I'm saying why self-sufficiency, SF, I mean self-sufficiency, why we need it today? Because we want to enable countries to be economically interdependent, not totally dependent, not totally independent, to be interdependent, so that they can, let's say, maintain the essential resources, but still they can collaborate with other countries who have abundant resources. So that also we can build up a better resilience economy for the countries and for the world. Okay, we can use the natural resources in a proper way. We can improve the livelihood standards in the rural areas and the capital areas. And we can also ensure equality in economic affairs and have stable international relations. Now, the strain in international relations, one of it is about what? Is about what happened to the disease, or about, again, shortage of certain resources, okay? This will prepare our countries or the world for a better new normal. So new normal, it will have its ups and downs, but we will create a better new normal if we participate as a network, and we build up lots of influencing on the communities. And there is good examples, by the way, in the world, especially in the Asian, Southeast Asia, where they establish, improve their self-sufficiency after the financial crisis. And especially I will emphasize a very good case study, maybe we can share it with you later, about Thailand, how much they improve after the financial crisis. And this is what we do in inspiration economy and in resilience economy. We find opportunities inside the problems. Today the world have a problem, and we'll look for how to find the opportunity inside this problem and create a better currency and better improvement and better outcome for the whole world. So in general, what I wanted to say is that self-sufficiency today is very important because it will ensure people safety, and they will accept the lockdowns, because we will stay at least 1.5 years from today in lockdown. It will ensure also the food security, especially in Africa. And for that, I invited actually 3-4 people from Africa. I'm not sure if they join us now or not, and from India and so on. So because Africa now is a country where they will suffer a lot, especially sub-Saharan areas. Maybe Ghana is not that much hurted, but in countries like I work in Mauritania, Nigeria, these countries, they will have this lots of problems because of scarcity of water and so on. And then we can improve also the health and wellness, because again, we are seeing that 7 out of 7 children, one is really dying because of shortage of food. And also, we can increase, of course, the opportunity for a better environment and climate change, and minimizing the climate impact, and also reestablish the continuity of essential resources, as I said, about sub-Saharan, for example, or for example, refugees in different countries. Now, we have many refugees. They don't have proper resources like Rohingya in Myanmar and so on. And this will help us to establish what we say resilience economy. So in summary, I could say, and this way, this is the framework I'm proposing to you. Again, this all debatable and all can be discussed in detail. Today, we are putting for you in front of you what we have ideas, and we can correct it and improve it, because I know there are lots of you much better than me in with resilience economy and with self-sufficiency. I will believe that the first two goals will be self-sufficiency as a resilient economy practice, how we create communities development, how we'll ensure that sustainability and continuity in the communities, how we bring tools to empower communities to make them independent more, how we diversify their products and add nutritional value. I invited one of our colleagues who specializes in, he's professor in nutrition. So I hope he joined us, Prof. Muaz. If you are there, Prof. Muaz, please you raise your hand. Huh? The other issue is about global self-sufficiency. Again, situational assessment. We need to, again, I think one of the papers I proposed to you is that now we do a situation assessment of different regions in the world. We did one already about poverty, and Bartol and Fred was a member of that. And really, even though it is very simple paper, but lots of citation already on this paper. So the world already needs specific issues other than now healthcare or medical issues to bring solutions to it, especially after the COVID. In this global assessment, I am proposing that we study the type of coming global and regional self-sufficiency crisis. There will be lots of crises in different countries, and maybe in different communities. In the same country, we'll find different problems because in certain area there is shortage of water and so on. Okay, or maybe the land is not again fertile and so on. The other thing is that we improve the production and productivity. We need to assess that. We need to integrate the resources. We need to see the food supply chain from earth to mouth, as they say. We need also to study the self-sufficiency in poverty areas. Why they are poor if they are having resources. And this is what I noticed from most of my visits. And of course, the problem now, the whole world is suffering about the issue of distribution or storage. For example, in India, I'm not sure if our friends from India, they enter, because it's now, I think, 3 a.m. in their time. But storage, we found in different villages with my son, Paul, one of my friends in India, Paul, his name. Storage of cold store can solve lots of problems for fishermen because they cannot catch more fish because they don't have storage, cold storage. So what type of self-sufficiency I'm calling for? I'm calling for, this is what we need now to discuss more. Are we focusing on food, or are we focusing on food and services? Are we trying to create better livelihood for the community? Are we trying to improve the infrastructure development? Are we trying to enhance the quality of life of the farmer, of the fishermen, fisher folks? Are we trying to improve the food security in general? Or are we trying to improve the land and irrigation development and so on? And I think this area especially, Prof. Anna will have, I think, talk about it and so on. So that's the focus of aspiration economy. It's all about capacity versus demand. We need to raise the capacity of the communities, study community by community, especially now we have a big network and it is easier than before. And this will bring our society from deteriorating societies or unstable or they are driven for success only to a society where they are trying to be more sustainable, resilient societies. And hopefully with time, we can move the different communities to be more inspiring societies where they can inspire other communities and they'll be much selfless than selfish. This is where I want to put for you the final two slides. Is that's like a framework, and this we need to decide. And when we do the study, we need to decide where is the area of priority. Where is the area where there is probability of there is a problem that is going to occur if we don't solve it now, or we don't tackle it, or we don't write about it now, and if it is having high impact, this is the area where I think our projects, our papers should focus on in the beginning. Then we cover the other areas instead of scattering ourselves. So we need this is like a framework for us, which topic we'll choose for our next papers or our next projects and so on. Finally, before I conclude, this is the way we manage a problem. First, we define the problem. For example, I give an example here: the community suffer turbulence on continuity of wheat, which is essential item of that community. That community, they depend on wheat for their bread or something. So if we reward the problem, how can we address the shortage and build the self-sufficiency in wheat with minimal resources? Okay, now if we target the approach, then we can evaluate. So our target approach, or our paper, our project, our assessment will be how we evaluate and then design solution for the community as per their capacity and functionality. Because again, each community will have their own capacity and their own functionality. And this is where I'm trying to say here, this slide, I will not explain it too much, is that there is difference between scarcity, before COVID, hopefully before COVID, and what we are calling for inspiration, resilience economy, self-sufficiency economy, where we are calling about abundance thinking than scarcity thinking. The world is full of resources. The world is very rich. Many people are kind around the world. Only we need to extract or exploit their resources and show them the opportunities so that they create change, and we push them from each other and being more. We believe that our model, I'm proposing for you, that we empower people for independence, we empower them for development, and then we empower them for advancement through this cycle of not supply versus demand, but rather capacity versus demand. We raise their capacity and not depending on supply. As you can see, world leaders, they are talking always about numbers. They are always talking about numbers of how much they'll give billions of dollars, how much they want to buy that much of medicine, that much of ventilator, and so on. This is the scarcity mindset. What we are calling for is different. We're calling to find opportunities. Sometimes increasing, one of our studies, increasing number of ventilators actually deteriorate the patient situation, especially in COVID, because COVID is poisonous, not only virus disease, a poisonous disease. Okay, it creates poison in the body. So giving more ventilation, forced ventilation, it is creating actually more problem for other people. For that, we say that we need to now to rediscover the assets and the capitals of the human beings through the self-sufficiency program. It is most of us, we have lots of human capital resources that is not used. We have lots of social capital and natural capital, especially Slovenia, of course, and these countries who have, mashallah, very, and also in Africa and so on, and physical capital, and rather than only financial capital. Unfortunately, the whole world is talking this language, the dollar, while we want to shift them. So if we bring, hopefully, better self-sufficiency programs, projects, papers, and so on, and people start to recognize this force, I'm sure that people will shift or appreciate the other four capitals which is other than the financial capital. And hopefully this will shift us to be a strong network. And I'm proposing that we start with publication, and then we do some workshop together, we do seminars, we do projects, and later we shift to consultancy, education, and learning by doing, and for the children, of course. I know that there is countries which is already for them, this is for granted, like Slovenia, because I established our office in Slovenia in the beginning, I learned from Prof. Anna a lot. They are doing lots of projects for self-sufficiency. But believe it or not, most of European countries near you, they don't have this concept yet well established. And also most of the whole world, even America, which I lived in America and I still have friends in America, they are really far away from this concept, and even Southeast Asia and other countries. So we need really, the whole world is waiting for you guys to really create the shift that we are talking about in general. And I hope that through going through the cycle of problem solving and so on, which we can talk about later more, we can really bring good solutions for the whole community. So I would like to thank you again for giving me the opportunity, Prof. Anna. 5 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, I visited a country, a beautiful country. And I managed to meet a friend who introduced me to a beautiful lady called Prof. Anna Vovek. Okay. And this lady, from then, she's been supporting us day and night in every issue of our papers, our journals, our conferences, all the way. She's really like a sister, like a mother for the Inspiration Economy journey. Without her, we would have not done many things that we have done. So I'm proud to introduce for you now Prof. Anna, which dedicated her life for this concept, and she will be our leader for this project. Welcome, Prof. Anna. Thank you. Open the mic, Mike. Open the mic. The mic down.
Because I muted everyone. No.
Yalla, okay. Yalla. Okay, Prof.
Now
Anna.
you can talk.
Okay. May I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. I hope you can see my PowerPoint.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. First, thank you very much.
But you need to put it in slideshow so we can see it's clearer.
I try.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Now.
So first, thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed and Dr. Dunya, for invitation to be with you today and to have the possibility for our cooperation in Bahrain and in Africa and Asia. I'm sure the topic of self-sufficiency is most important today and will be in future. And thank you, my colleagues, to participate today with me because we can see in my presentation it is not possible to be alone in the future. So we must be together, work together. I use the name self-sufficiency as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic because self-sufficiency is mostly today like results of many activity, and we can learn if we develop self-sufficiency in the different ways, like Professor Mohammed said, we can perhaps find better future like it was before. I will shortly spoke about post-corona world, then about self-sufficiency, eco-village and eco-cities. They're like answer on the question, how can we live in the future? And then best practice educational area for self-sufficiency Dole. It is like a test area for self-sufficiency. So now we are already in the post-virus world because we can see it is not the same like it was before March. And now we mostly spoke about the three very important things in our work. They are the biosecurity, cybersecurity, and the food security. So food security will be the hot topics in coming time, and we can see the country who have strong agriculture and livestock infrastructure, they have benefit, and now many areas want to be more self-sufficient. They want to develop the area who cannot have good properties for agriculture, and they search the possibility how can they have own eating energy and so. And on the level of the family, it is the same. The family want to find a way how can be self-sufficient. So it is the question, what mean self-sufficiency? And when we take definition, it is important, it's is able to maintain oneself itself outside it. And like synonym, they're independent, self-dependent. That took prompt action, are putting up a more effective fight against the crisis. And I think we learned a lot in these 2 months. How can we develop and what is really important from each of the country for tomorrow? So we cannot ignore importance of international cooperation, and we see regional and international cooperation is much more important now than ever. And it is the region Dr. Mohamed and Dr. Dunya established this network for self-sufficiency and want to find the possibility for find together scientific people, people from the practice, politics, and so different ways for develop these methods and find the way how can be really independent in the future. Because after COVID-19, national self-sufficiency and global cooperation will increase in importance simultaneously, and we can see it past today. The question is local food production capable of meeting demand? Because we know it is very important to have local food production, but perhaps not all of the people have possibility to have local food. And as results, today most of the world's population reside in the country dependent and the least or part important food. So this often lends supply channels and have attracted significant attention of late, as the current coronavirus pandemic causes disrupt. And now we can see some research work. I opened some projects, and they want to find the model and have like a research question. How many people can have the eatings from less than 100 kilometers? It means can be like local, and how many more like 100, 2,000, and so. And the research work shows only about 30% of the people of the world population had access to the local eatings. All other, about 60% of people have distance greater like 1,000 kilometers. One reason for this situation, there are different properties of the lands, because in Africa or in Russia and of some of them, there are not all the possibility for agriculture, and the other is globalization. In last 20 years, it was better all buy and not produce, and now we must once again to learn how can we produce alone. The second research work, it was about the question, it is really local better, like if we have the eatings from the globalization. And the most important results, it is if we have decentralization food systems, we can have good influence of the environmental benefit, then such as food waste reductions and the few greenhouses gas emission. And so domestic production it is like significant challenges. And researchers said today about 18% of the world population live in the countries relying to some extent on the important food, and this study showing that food trade is essential to provide adequate access to nutrients. And all of this area we must have in mind when we want to work on the self-sufficiency, because these areas, they're so important, and the condition from the people who lives in our world, they are so different. And different researcher, their source, it was local food crop production, and this study they're new from April in this year, and they said Corona is like a test. How can we develop food supply channels in the future? Because we can so all of the classical ways doesn't work in this 2 months period. And it is the important question, how can all of the people have like a good eating and good life in the future when we meet next Corona on with different in different characteristics. On the like importantly, I can see on the different literature or sources, they wrote about the bioactive irrigants to boost immunity. It means it is important what and how we will produce in the future. And they described how important is to take vitamins, and how can we alone to build up immune function. And if we have domestic food production, it is normally all of these vitamins, they are already then, or when we have this globalization food system, because the system of the transfer and the classical production, this food is without this vitamin, and we must know so what we will eat
Anna.
in the future.
Yes, thank you. It's really very interesting, but I'm afraid that we are a little bit running out of time.
Okay, I will go. Yes, excuse me. I will be quickly.
Because already.
So then is important food safety in the global. So food safety is a very important topic, and the food security in lockdown. So all of these things we already know. Now is perhaps easier to learn what we must do in the future. So when we said we need different or the other type of the life, then is the question which one? And one is eco-villages and the sustainable cities. All of this already exist in Europe and in the world. We have more like 10,000 eco-villages and sustainable cities. And definition, it is all of their self-sufficiency. They have human activities, and all of that they're integrated in the nature world. So we know how can we live in the future if we will really be without the problems to the nature or to our health. And the benefit there connect to the energy, to the environment, to the education and community, to coexistence and to economy. So all of the fields that integrate, and the same it is by sustainable cities or urban sustainability. It is really important in the future. We must find other system for building of our cities or for development. We cannot speak more yet about the classical development, but only of sustainable development. And now, if we have enough knowledge for self-sufficiency, the question is, because I wrote some books for schools and searched the topics about self-sufficiency, and in Slovenia or in the neighboring land, they don't have include in the school systems these topics. And in the world, in Europe and in the other countries, we already develop knowledge, agroecology call it, and agroecology, it's like a way for self-sufficiency and connect together all of these important topics, what I already named. And in Slovenia, we develop like teaching area for self-sufficiency. Now I will quick only to show the picture. It is 1.5 hectares, and there is more like 200 different forms how can we live in practice, how can be self-sufficient. And we can find here different sustainable buildings, the things, how can we get to the water, how can we produce eating on the area who have not good soil, and so on. And the education, it is like a way to sustainability and to self-sufficiency, because it is not normally, so the people don't know a lot of that, and they want to be self-sufficient, but they don't know how can they start. So we must integrate like solar energy, then the different natural condition, like soil characteristics. The young people or different generation must have some possibility for experimental work. They need to know which or how this water they have, can they use or not. And we have the program for different generation, young students, peoples, and so, and they can try to work with us. They can learn, test, make different research work. You can see their small children, they are integrated in the process to learn, and they enjoy, they want to know more about this, because in the classical school, here this context, it is not present. And we work whole of the day together and work on the new things, like with biodiversity, with wood, and so, and they have this practice. Now only quick some picture what all we produce. So our goal, it is not only to learn, but we really want to be self-sufficient, and we produce all what we need. It is only 1.5 hectares, but we have with this natural way for producing without chemicals, without pesticide. We have a lot of things, and then have underground house where all what we produce, they have here for the people, they can see, and we have here too, like sustainable building, and we prepare more like 1,000 different materials, education programs, and so for learn how can be with practice sustainable, not only with theory. And now in the end, so post-corona opened this new possibility for network, and it is really necessary to active all of potential for sustainable future. And it is the question if we want to be self-sufficient or we want to be dependent of the globalization, because the question. So the answer, it is not only in the one, but thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
great, Prof. Anna, and always very inspiring to see your farm again, which I visited more than 4 times, and every time I learn many new ideas. It's very small model for what we believe that we can spread all over the world. I can see many people from different countries. They are getting very interested. I think we have with us Prof. Mu'izz now. Prof. Mu'izz, you are awake?
Yeah, I am here. I'm here.
يلا أخي جزاك الله خير مأجور إن شاء الله.
وإياكم إن شاء الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Do you have slides for us, brother? Or
No. I just just a few minutes.
You can introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Maybe there are different time zones. Maybe some people I can say good morning, for others good evening. I am Mu'izz Islam Faris. I am associate professor at the University of Sharjah. I am a dietitian and specialized in dietetics, nutritionist also. My concern actually and my interest in this respect is actually about the food security after the COVID-19 and how it will be reflected on the nutritional status. In our Arab region, actually, we are facing many problems that are related to the agricultural production and the water and the food security. The Arab region exports more than 80% of its requirements from the basic crops and the staple food items, especially for the wheat kernels as a strategic crop, from the red meats. All these actually put a big burden over our food security and food sufficiency in the Arab world, because we have many problems that are related to the sustainability, the water resources. The leading three most important water resources are not controlled by the Arab countries. You may know and hear from the mass media about the Ethiopian-Egyptian conflict, about the Nile River. So all these problems actually makes the food security in the Arab world more complicated. In addition to the lack of rainfall, desertification, the drought, the weakness of the technical abilities, and the lack of supply to the agriculture sectors, all these worsen the condition actually. Once we're looking for the side I'm looking and most interested with is the micronutrient deficiencies. We are facing a real problem with the micronutrient deficiencies. This is before the COVID-19. The question, what will be the situation after the COVID-19? We are facing many problems with what's called the micronutrients like the vitamin A, vitamin D, with the minerals like iron, zinc, selenium. So we have many statistics about the high prevalence of these micronutrient deficiencies. For example, for the vitamin D, there is a range that from 11 to 60% deficiencies in different Arab countries, or among the most vulnerable age groups, age groups we call it, like the elderly, the pregnant woman, the growing child, school children, even the adolescents. All these are suffering from varying degrees of the micronutrient deficiencies. As I mentioned, for the vitamin D ranges from 11 to 60% in some countries. For iron, zinc, also it ranges from maybe 12% up to more than 47%. We have also a problem with the night blindness, which is a reflect for the vitamin A deficiency. We have a list of B vitamins, we call it like thiamine, B1, riboflavin, B2, niacin, B3, cobalamin, B12, and other stuffs. of vitamins. All these actually reported wide range of prevalences among the Arab countries. So all these are the prevalences before the COVID-19. So the question, what would be the situation after the COVID-19? This is really a big challenge that we have to put a clear strategic planning to overcome. The most important thing is that the resources should be directed toward the research in the agriculture and food production sectors. There should be more resources that should be directed over there. We have to implement the artificial intelligence and the big data analysis. In this respect, we have to create new techniques, new methodologies in the mass food production in order to overcome this problem. Otherwise, we will be facing a severe micronutrient deficiencies. The problem with the micronutrient deficiencies, these micronutrient deficiencies affects the immunity at the first, which is the first line in the defense against the microbial and the viral infections. So if as you hear now, there's maybe a second and maybe a third pandemic of corona after maybe a few years. So the war is still going on. We are still suffering from corona. So what would be the situation of this dilemma continues for a long time? As you know, the quarantine, the lockdown, all these affects the different agricultural and food production sectors. So it's expected that the problem may be worsened if no strategic plans are put in anticipation for the future and to solve these problems. There are many suggestions actually that may help in improving the food security in the Arab world. I can summarize these suggestions with, again, put clear strategic plans in which all the Arab countries are cooperate and coordinate with the different resources, because we have wide variation in the resources in the Arab countries. Some countries they have the money, others they have the water, third they have the human power and the brains. All these should be integrated together in a way that can help in lowering the shortage in the food supply. Also decreasing the food dependency on the other countries, especially the developed countries, because food dependency is something really very bad actually for the Arab countries if not solved in the right way, because there are many political and yes, it is political conflicts and problems that may affect the future of the food supply in the Arab countries. There should be a kind of, as I mentioned, developing new methods and agricultural techniques that help to improve the water collection, water gathering, like the dams, like improving the skills, techniques. Also having developing what's called the non-profit loans and the funds for the small farmers and the food producers in order to help them to overcome this problem. And at the end, there should be a rearrangement and reshaping for the international markets and the agreements that regulate the food production and food exportation and import policies throughout the world. So all these things together may help at the end to overcome this problem related to the food insufficiency and the output, which is the micro and the macro, really. And I'm discussing now the micro, but we are maybe facing a problem with the macronutrients like the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, which are the leading sources of the energy for the human body. Now we are discussing with the micro, but in the future, if there is no real solutions, we may have a problem with the macro and the micronutrients, and this will be something devastating and worsening the problem. This is my comment. Thank you, Professor Dr. Mohammed.
Shukran, barakallah fiqh. Thanks a lot, Prof. Maaz, and very happy to see again, an input from different perspective. So this is the, as you can see, this is the third perspective, and I'm sure that each one of us will see self-sufficiency, as Prof. Anna taught me. We'll see it from different, side. So we need to keep this perspective, besides learn from each other, so that we can come up with the different holistic solution as per the area or the region or the country need or the problem. So I am happy now to, if I may, Prof. Anna, I will also want to bring in Prof. Talal from Iraq. Are you there, Prof. Talal? Prof. Sajida? I've seen your name there. Prof. Talal? Prof. Talal? Prof. Sajida?
Yes, Dr. Muhammad.
تفضل دكتور, حياك الله. Introduce yourself, sir, and also your beloved wife, Prof. Sajida. Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. Thank you, Dr. Adunia, for this invitation to the International Inspiration of Economic Projects. I think it is. I am very pleasure, and it is very good time to give our comments in the projects, in your project relation for self-sufficiency in the field of animal farming. Good evening, everybody. The self-efficiency in farming animals is very important after COVID-19. As you know, food self-efficiency have moved higher to the policy agenda in a number of countries following COVID-19. Countries as diverse as Senegal, India, Philippines, Bolivia, and other African countries, as well as Arab countries, are expressed very interest in improving their levels of food self-efficiency during this period. Nations worldwide try to become self-efficient in producing the food supplies their populations needed. Part of these motivating was avoid being dependent and are they vulnerable to the neighboring countries. As you know, livestock animals are one of the main cornerstones to achieve a very successful self-sufficiency for many countries. The majority of animals farmed for food live in conditions that cause suffering and stress during this period. It is a time for rethink farming and find solutions for many global farming challenges. The treatment of farm animals is the world's biggest animals welfare issues, and it is getting bigger. We have many good examples for animal farming challenges worldwide during COVID-19 and how to find solutions for this by applying self-sufficiency. In Iraq and many other Asian countries like Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Myanmar, most buffalo herd lived in their holders in marshlands and swamps, and they faced very bad conditions of feed shortage. They always for this during this period they fed on low quality fodders. Their milk productions and the quality were deteriorated during the COVID-19 due to the low governmental support and due to other factors. So they decided to self-sufficiency of themselves and fed their animals on naturally cultivated plants like reed, papyrus, as well as of wheat, barley, brands, purchased with low prices from farms cultivated wheat and barley annually in their regions. As you know, most farmers have reduced their prices during the COVID-19 period because of no many people can purchase their products. Their women used to manufacture the cream from milk manually and sell to the markets, as well as selling the crude milk. With this money, they always try to buy wheat, bran, and their animals for integrated production schemes. In Iraq, we tried to training the buffalo owners during this period for, as we called, agribusiness procedures, and had participated in the self-sufficiency of them during this period for low governmental support of those owners. The second example is the sheep owners in many Arab countries like Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Oman, Morocco, and Tunisia fed their animals during this period for cereal stubble from harvesting waste of low quality fodder during this low period. Their milk productions and reproductive efficiency is very poor. Manufacturing of feed blocks is the solutions during this period. These blocks contains harvesting waste supplemented with urea as nitrogen source and supplemented with vitamin A-D3E. This will improve, and this will improve some nutrition, will improve reproductive efficiencies and improve milk productions and consequently their economic outputs. Another point, treated of this wheat straw that produced from the harvested of wheat and barley with chemical agents lead with increased nitrogen contents and feeding quality. And it is my pleasure to be one of those people who has worked in this project and developed the economic outputs of these holders. Other points in Iraq, the Ministry of Agriculture tried to give 5 head of ewes per each poor family. They fed them on their own home feeds and used ewe milk for producing their products and meat when they slaughtered their animals. We have a good integration. Okay.
تفضل دكتور تفضل.
Okay.
بس حاول توجز في خلال دقائق عشان بس نعطي فرصة للآخرين بعد.
Yes, during in Sudan, the household waste is an important source of feed for Khartoum urban livestock, and particularly goats and sheep, cattle, and equine use their home waste for feeding animals. And I think this is a very good procedures and very good steps for self-sufficiency during this period. Livestock contribute to economic benefits, and especially for urban poor families during this period. Finally, we think that the agriculture extensions of these owners and these holders, and try to teach them how to apply these steps for self-sufficiency, will participate positively in improve their inputs or outputs during this COVID-19 period. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed.
بارك الله فيك. دكتورة ساجد عندها تعليق شيء تبي تقول ولا خلاص؟
نعم.
اوكي.
نعم دكتور.
تفضلي دكتورة.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Good evening. It's my pleasure to invite the International Inspiration of Economic Project. Today I talk about self-sufficiency. The term of self-sufficiency is a big term that cannot be covered by either seminar or lectures, because it depends on developing the strategic plan that could be for 5, 10, 5 years to overcome. on how to achieve self-sufficiency after COVID-19 in the region in which you are located and within this great globalization that the world is witnessing. Yes, we need to know the experiences of our neighboring countries or global experiences on how to achieve self-sufficiency that led to their having a strong and large economic policies in the world. In order to achieve self-sufficiency for our region in which we are located, it must be originated from our internal experiences in the country in which we are located, means universities, research centers, owners, agriculture extension. In order to start properly, we must do survey studies about what are the strong things or ingredients that we have to be a strong basis for launching toward achieving agriculture self-sufficiency in two branches, animal and plant, especially after COVID-19. Then we must ask ourselves the question whether this strong or alternative constituent will withstand with the great climate changes that the world will witness it besides the COVID-19 in the coming year, such as lack rain, high temperature, scarcity of strategic feed in animal husbandry, and other matters. If the answer is no, then we need to perform experiment that may to find solution for future conditions and be synchronized with our work to achieve self-sufficiency. We have successful example for self-sufficiency. Most of them from last visit to dairy cattle station in USA, especially in Texas. One of these examples, I think we can. I think we can. I think we can. We can. We can. I like it. I like it. This idea from one owner has more than 10,000 Holstein cow who built sheds with the tank to collect animal waste for the purpose generating energy means fuel from them. Besides, use this waste for fertilize the lands and selling of them. It means economic return. At the same time, it's work to filter for the water used for washing barns and waste fluid and watering the lands cultivated with the fodder crops and vegetable fruits. Many examples I saw. In Iraq, another example. In Iraq, we have many examples. Another example, one owner have about more than 300 heads of dairy cow in the station of San Angelo because of bad economic conditions. He reduced the herd from 3,000 to 100 dairy cow to build the small, to 100 dairy cow and build a small dairy plant in his station to sell various types cheese with good reputation. These examples, we can do it after COVID-19. In Iraq, all of them, we know through the years of economic blockage, we faced many problems of food and need. And we have many solutions for this food. One of these solutions, I think Dr. Ahmad, he talked previously about the chicken breeding projects in Iraq. Other examples are successful for development of many agricultural crops such as wheat, rice, water resistance with soil salinity. If we ask me, Dr. Mohammed, how to achieve self-sufficiency in our Arab and religion countries after COVID-19, we can summarize with the following items. I think 6 items. This first one, working to provide strategic storage for seeds now. Means bank for storing all types of forage seeds or that are used in human nutrition. Second, preserve local animals that resistant to all local conditions. We need products of animals. We need milk, cheese. We need all products for immunity of human. So that we need to preserve local animals. At the same time working to improve their productivity ability through selection, crossing, benefiting from artificial insemination and embryo transfer techniques for animal conservation. Third, protect the local product by setting a tariff for the material entering to the country so that their prices are higher than the local product, or preventing the importation of product that can be provided within countries, such as banning the import of poultry, meat, sheep, cow, and goat. This will motivation owner to breed these animals. Four, building a new animal station that provided adequate conditions for animals with the possibility of benefiting from all of its products. For example, advantages of waste-produced energy and fertilizer and used sun to provide electrical energy and others. 5, working to take advantage of vast abundant plants without interest as a natural pasture and very simple possibilities, or cultivated them with fodder crops, especially the year when the amount of the rain is heavy, and work on sorting these fodder crops like hay, silage for many years that can be utilized in events of shortage of feed. Finally, paying attention to agriculture extension that transfer problems from breeders or owners to universities, research centers to find solution to a problem, especially after COVID-19. Thank you for your attention.
مشكورة دكتورة بروف ساجدة. ما شاء الله يعني you and your husband, they have really enlightened us a lot, especially about animal farming and an area which is also very important, as you said, not only in the Arab world, but in many countries around the world. Actually, even in countries where there's abundant resources like India, Africa, where I visited a lot, it is really a mismanaged asset, let's say, that is not well utilized. And even in countries where they are very poor, like in Mauritania and so on, they are having huge animal cattle and so on, but still it is not well managed, and for that they have lots of diseases, they have lots of also storage problem, as you said, and so on. I'm sure that whatever we discussed today, inshallah, this is one will be like our collective paper in the beginning. We'll put it in paper, inshallah, and whoever have this writing, please send it to us so that it will ease our time to put it together, inshallah, as a paper and as a proposal also for the network. I already, for my side, I put for you a PDF file for you. So I'm sure you have, some of you have seen it. You can download the PDF file for my presentation. Prof. Anna, if you can put your PDF file also there, it will be great. Okay. If not, I can send, you send it to me in WhatsApp and I can put it for them. Okay. If I may now, because we are running out of time, Dr. Dunya has our time manager. If I may now, I want to, before I take a question from Assam about the milk, which is maybe Prof. Muaz and Prof. Talal, this is your area. If there is anyone who want to say anything, any words, please, from Europe, from different countries, from Thailand, from India. Before the question, there is a question from Assam. If there is no one is want to comment, then we'll start to take questions before we conclude. Because we really have to conclude by 11, I mean 12:30 or 11:30 Bahrain time. Prof. Muaz, you can answer the question, please. Did you seen it from Assam?
I am sorry, no, I couldn't find the question. Can you
Okay,
just
the question is, the question, I read it for you. The question is that, this is from Ramli, from Assam. She's saying, or he's saying that in India, milk demand has reduced by 25%.
Why?
People are skeptical to buy it due to lack of trust. And this has happened with many other products. So how we can cope up with the trust deficit? So they have a problem with trusting the product itself.
Does it mean there is a kind of adulteration with the milk? Or this is from a safety point of view because of the COVID-19 and the coronavirus?
Ramli Das is there, you can open the mic and
yes, sir.
comment. Yes,
hello, sir.
Yes,
sir. So actually, we have seen that like the milk, like for example, we're taking the example of milk. The like production is there, but then people now are like locally they have not they are not trusting the people or the vendors, like because they might have COVID and they might like contract that the virus from those vendors. So as a result, people are having much of trust deficit. So how can, like after the COVID impact it reduces, how can we build up the trust again?
Okay, clear.
Okay, thank you. First of all, we have to understand that food is not a suitable media for the transfer of the pathogen of the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, especially if the food is heat treated. And as we know, the milk should be heat treated. It should be what's called pasteurized. Pasteurized means that it is exposed to a specific heat temperature for a specific period of time. So all the pathogenic microbes are killed. So once the milk is pasteurized and heat treated, and this should be, because we know nobody can drink the milk without pasteurization, because there is what's called Brucella and other kind of microorganisms, pathogenic microorganisms that lead to severe problems. So I don't think this is, I think this is a kind of misunderstanding actually, and the lack of knowledge and awareness about the food safety and its relation with the COVID-19. So I think the front line in tackling this problem is the awareness, improve the awareness, the knowledge about the ways how the coronavirus transmitted. Maybe there is a problem with the workers, with the milk. There is the lack of trust with the workers, not with the milk itself. This should be handled through the governmental agencies that should put very strict regulations about the food handlers, especially in the milk sector, and how they should stick to the hygienic and sanitary precautions and conditions. All these should be applied. So I think this is a multifactorial problem that should be addressed from different points, from the people, from the government, from the workers and the food producers and the milk sector farmers. All these should be involved in this in managing this problem. I think so.
Dr.
Okay,
Mohammed,
great.
can I answer?
Yes, sir. Please, we are waiting. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. I think this is one of the problems that face the many countries during the COVID-19. One of these problems is ignorance and unawareness of the methods and the way of how this virus is transported. I think to solve this problem of untrusted people with milk producers and milking is by applying cast media and extensions to explain that this virus is not transported through the foods and the milk, through television, through social media, and another solutions is by explaining for the producers and the milkers of the cattle by take the steps to protect themselves by wearing the gloves and by wearing the mask. By this way, we can explain to people that they are very safe to drink the milk during this period.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, now people from Africa, who we have? Godfred, you have a question? Godfred, are you there? Okay, anybody from Sudan? Sudan? Okay, they have problem with the network. Nikolai, do you have any comment, Nikolai?
Yes, I probably, in general, I want to briefly bring some notes because I was making some notes, and probably I need to tell you that some of you didn't know that my first master's degree was in agricultural management. So I'm perfectly suited to this project.
Nikolai, again to introduce you, Nikolai, our friend, professor from Moscow University in Russia. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. And in general, I just want to go through, well, all of the presentations, and I want to, well, make some notes about some points. Well, agriculture is a risky business, and the COVID is not the only risk that we face, because crop diseases, the climate changes and the weather is also brings some problems, so that's why it's making more complicated to be, to be successful in that. Also, so we need to bring some risks analysis to our project, because, to make it more complex. Another thing that it's from opposite side, that consumption,
sorry, Nikolai, just a minute. دكتور معز لو تسكر عندك المايك لو سمحت دكتور معز. شكرا.
Yeah, thank you. And another thing that in general, all other people, they consuming too much. Some statistics say that up to 60% of our refrigerators in Europe and in Russia just throwing away. So we're buying too much. We're buying more than we're ready to eat. So that's like more complicated and more complex problem for it's just thought to develop. I just want to think about this all together. So that's probably some of my notes for now.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Very nice to know that you are from agriculture background with economics,
yes.
PhD. So that makes great. Okay, Bartolla, do you have any comment since you have some experience in Africa? Bartolla?
I'm here. Hi.
Yes.
So,
introduce yourself. Introduce yourself again, and so that.
Yes, my name is Bartola Mavic. I'm originally from Croatia. However, I did my master degree in social science, researching in Istanbul University, and currently I'm doing my PhD degree in tourism development. I'm very interested in tourism sustainable development in underdeveloped communities, because I do believe that tourism is an industry which can help the communities to come out of the poverty, and at the same time increase the education and social development. I have spent some time in Nigeria, in some rural communities. Many of you have mentioned also, I think the Professor Anna, she mentioned in the beginning that there are so many food there. They have so many resources, but somehow people are still poor and there is not enough food. So I would mention definitely rice and shea butter. For example, we were in one poor community on the Benin and Nigerian border. They have so many things to produce there. However, because of lack of the knowledge, they don't do it. They have almonds, they have shea butter, they have rice, they have moringas, but because of lack of the knowledge, they're not producing anything. So I think that is also one of the good example of sustainable development of the community. I mean, Nikolai, as you mentioned, you know more about agriculture. I'm just saying from the perspective that I have seen, but there's so much, but there is lack of education, definitely, knowledge, and it's really sad. I think we all do need sustainable development from any type of approach: tourism, agriculture, economy, everything.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Bertola, and very nice to know how much you have good observation. And inspiration economy is all about observation, how much you can observe the problems. And what you mentioned is exactly what I mentioned to them in Africa many times, especially what you mentioned, the items, shea butter and other areas. Godfred, you want to comment on that? And then Paul, before we conclude. Godfred? Okay, Paul? Paul, are you there? India? Anybody from Assam?
Okay,
you guys? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So let's take Assam, then Godfred. Yes, go ahead, Assam.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
go ahead.
everyone.
Tolika, yes, Tolika, how are you? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very overwhelmed that you all invited me to join the program, but this is my first time to join this such types of seminar. So I'm thanks to all. Today I have got the opportunity to learn so many things from you, and in future, I think
introduce yourself, Tolika, because people they don't know you. Introduce yourself. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Tulika Satyayan. I am from India. My state is Assam, and I am a writer, and I am doing research about my folk culture about Northeast, and actually I joined this for Polka Koti, and I am already submitted 2 papers, COVID-19 and refugees, and I am very happy to join you. And this is actually my first meeting, first conference.
Can you tell us in summary your observation now about self-sufficiency in general, your problems in Assam? Your problems in Assam are relevant to self-sufficiency.
Yeah, there is so many problems we're facing in agriculture and farming, and here the climate change, the food deficiency. There are actually so many problems. I would think I will be writing the paper and submit it there. Now, goodbye to all.
Okay, thank you very much. And sorry, we know that it's, I think now 4 a.m. in India time. So nice to see you to participate also at this time. And Assam, by the way, whoever did not visit Assam, I hope after all this problem goes away, it is one of the heaven on
yeah,
earth.
it is now
Yes.
3 a.m.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm Rimli. I'm Rimli from Assam. Sir, I have like an observation, and like it's like out of general curiosity. I have heard about the orange-fleshed sweet potato that is like is very popular in Ghana, and it has been used like it is a genetically modified crop which has like rich vitamin A content, and so like for like this we have many other genetically modified crops which can help to help the people like who are nutritiously not feasible, who don't have much nutritious things around the globe, be it in African countries or in Asia. So can we like how can we popularize these kind of crops so that every part of the world can have the access, because there are many places, for example in Assam we have very fertile land, and we can produce these crops in masses. So how can we Can I
You
get an
actually-
observation from you people?
Ramli, you're surely, you will be an inspiration economy expert, because this is what we do. What we do is that we shift certain products from one place to the other. Of course, I think you know Paul, and Paul, he will
Yes,
tell you
sir.
that we are trying to do this collaboration between Ghana, Nigeria, different countries, because we see
Yes, sir.
certain products which is of scarcity in certain area, and we
Yes,
believe
sir.
that this can be brought and can solve lots of problems.
Yes, sir.
And this is both. I mean, even in India, have lots of abundant resources, which maybe if
Yes,
we
sir.
grow it in Ghana, it can improve the people's life and so on. So thanks
Yes,
a
sir.
lot
For
for
example,
your.
the golden rice and all. Yes, sir. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Okay, I think we need to conclude unless there is no one. Godfred, are you there? Godfred.
Yes, he was ready, but you.
خلاص, we
I'm
close
here.
it now.
I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you. Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. My name is Godfred from Ghana, and I'm a third-year student in the University for Development Studies. I'm studying social science, and hopefully in Ghana, just like in the case of Nigeria, I think we have quite similar situations because we also have vast lands and we have very good agricultural potentials, but many of the people do not know the value of what they have in their communities. And then I believe that with the projects that we have started here, especially exploiting into shea butter, I think it should be one of the avenues where we can educate the people on the value of shea butter and then its usage. And then the other products in Africa, especially in Ghana here, that can bring value to the people themselves so that it can help them improve upon their lives. So I think with the case of Nigeria, it's quite similar, and then we'll do what we can do in Ghana here to help the people, especially in the rural community. Thank you.
Okay, great. And I think this is one of the purpose of the self-sufficiency network, is that we establish this not only, it might be also social for profit. I mean, okay, we'll start with papers and research and maybe non-profit projects, but later also we hope that some of us will be, let's say, part-time or full-time for these projects. Now, I know that, for example, like Godfred, he's going full-time, inshallah, besides he's being student, he's going full-time for this project. He opened his own company. And I know that Paul is trying to do this in Assam. So, and this is what we are trying to do. And we help people to establish their company, and we collaborate so that we establish more projects, and hopefully Tulika, Bartolla, also even if you are in Turkey, wherever you are, we can really collaborate with you to spread the message that we can bring a solution for the communities through seeing their own resources. That's the idea of inspiration economy. Yeah. I believe that we need to conclude unless anyone has Iqbala, do you have any question, Iqbala and Prof. Khalid, before we conclude?
Okay, I don't have a question, but I have a lot of short comment because I'm also working in tourism. I'm actually a student of cultural tourism, but I'm working on it. And now we are having a campaign.
Introduce yourself first. Who you are. First, you say, I am a student of, or I am a leader in inspiration economy. First.
Okay. Okay, I'm Iqbala. I'm a leader of inspirational economy. I'm currently a student of second year of my bachelor program of cultural tourism in Slovenia. I'm originally from Bosnia. I have an example of self-sufficiency of how does tourism is going to take this part for now. For example, we are now in Bosnia trying to focus more on domestic tourists because the borders are closed, and the only way to save tourism now is by the local people. So we are launching a couple of campaigns to focus, to improve that patriotism and bring it to people just to improve their own countries. And that's the thing we all need to do, and that's all of the going local, thinking global. And I think that every country needs to be like more concentrated into itself now in this critical period. And it's one of the examples, of course, and all of the speakers have been so inspiring, and I'm happy to be here. And also my dad.
Very proud to have Prof. Khalid. Prof. Khalid, you don't have any comment, Iqbala?
Ne, mam neki komentar, sam da uslušao seminarita.
Okay, he hasn't any comment.
Okay, so we hope in the future, of course, he will make for us, give us some of his knowledge through a presentation in the future. This is, I would like to thank you at the end of the day. I know there are many people there that they have some comments or they have commented in the comment side. We're going to compile all this together. I hope that all of you keep your, please keep your email and WhatsApp in the chat side so that we can send you our next, let's say, move. For sure that we are going now, first, we're going to bring one paper from this talk and from also going for another paper, which is focus paper. This will be considered like now interview for this network. And I am sure that it will be cited from my experience, what we did in different projects. We have different projects like this in Bavarti and so on. That people are interested now to see how they tackle issues in the new normal. So people are now coming with a new mindset, okay? And I think you are the leaders on this area in self-sufficiency. We will learn from you a lot, and hopefully that we will create a change. And you will learn also from us. We are doing different projects also in different countries. So hopefully that we'll share our learning together. Thanks a lot for all those who talked today and who participated. And I know that there is some people that could not participate, especially from America and from China and Indonesia, Thailand. They apologize for me because they said that they cannot stay that late. Hopefully every time we'll improve the timing. Okay, and next time I think we'll let Miss Iqbala, she will run the management of this because she's our conference leader before. So she should now manage this problem. She needs to solve this problem for us. Okay, thanks a lot again, and hope to see you all. If you have anything, please you write to me in email or WhatsApp or Dr. Dunya. We'll be there always to listen to you, and we surely will going to communicate with you within 1 week, hopefully. Thanks a lot, Prof. Anna. I think not there. Prof. Anna, are you there? Okay.
Yes, she's there.
Prof. Anna? I think I didn't see her. So anyway, thanks a lot and hope to see you all soon.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, Prof. Anna, any last comments, ma'am? Any last comment, Prof. Anna?
So thank you very much, all of the group. Now I read some comments of you and I'm very happy. So in the night, so big group with common interest, how can be self-sufficient in the future with our leader, Dr. Mohammed and Dr. Dunya, and I'm sure we can move some things in the better future when we work together.
Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you. Good night. Sleep well or...
Good night, Dr. Mohammed. Good night. Thank you very much.
Prof.
Thank you for this.
بيضتوا الوي دكتور طلال ودكتورة ساجدة ما قصرتوا ما شاء الله. مشكورين. شكرا. بارك الله فيك. شكرا. See you. السلام عليكم.
Thank you for everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Tulika, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.